me, what makes me the most hopeful about this movie is thinking about like the younger generation, thinking about the kids that are gonna watch this movie, especially like little people of color, you know, like young kids that are gonna watch this movie and that this is gonna be normal for them. Like they already see themselves in movies. For them it's normal. They're gonna grow up thinking like, not like us, like I never saw myself in a major Hollywood movie when I was a kid. There was no one ever that looked like me. And for little kids to have this reference and to always know that this is a possibility for them and to always know that they have a place and that they can dream as big as they want to dream and anything is possible, that for me is what I would love for the kids to go out of the movie thinking that they're invincible. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. That's all beautiful. Maybe one or two more questions. One, yeah. And is anyone? Yeah. There's someone here. All right. Okay. No. Wait. Hey, you. All right. Then let me come to you. Let me come to you. Okay. All right. What's your name, first of all? What's your name? That's a beautiful name. All right, what's your question? Well, did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Do you want to go home and dance and sing?
No thank you.
We're going to cool off, but they're very hot. Please welcome Leslie Grace and Melissa Barrera. All right. I'm going to sit here. Don't even know where to begin. This is my second time watching this, right? First time on the big screen. It moves me to the core every time. The movie is optimistic, joyous, and everything that we need right now, but so timely about everything that's going on right now. Just a question to you guys, right? So how did you guys feel when you first, were offered the film, and how did you guys feel while making it?
I mean, we all felt like it was going to be life-changing. We all felt like we were going to be a part of something historic and momentous and timely, like you just said. And I personally, I just felt like I was going to be a part of something that felt like was paying homage to the people that raised me up, because this story hit so close to home for me. I related to Nina in the sense that, the community that I know is the community that my mom raised me up in. My mom is a real life salon lady who her first salon was a couple blocks away from where we shot all summer. And I grew up being empowered by the women that walked into that place, the women that worked in that place, and also going out into the world and feeling fragmented because it didn't always feel like that acceptance everywhere I went. So I really related to Nina, and I just felt so blessed before even knowing the amazing people that I was gonna meet along the way and be able to call family along the way. And now it's surreal to even think of being a part of this also.
How about you?
I mean, first of all, can I just say thank you for being here? This was a 4D experience with the heat for y'all. So thank you. It smells kind of like High Bridge Pool when we shot 96 South.
I could feel Nina curls coming up out of this ponytail, right?
But thank you. I hope it was worth it for y'all.
Yeah.
It felt important while we were shooting it. I mean, I was a huge fan of the show since it was on Broadway. I went to school for musical theater. My biggest dream was to be in that show. And so being a part of the movie now for me is crazy. I used to pray since I was 17 years old. I was like, thank you, God, every night. Thank you, God, because I am Vanessa and in the Heights. Literally, that's what the words that I would say since I was 17 years old. And 10 years later, I get cast in a movie, and it was kind of surreal and also amazing to know that you're going to be a part of something that is going to mean so much to so many people that have never felt seen in a major Hollywood movie like this, or celebrated, or like their stories and their voices are important. And you know, after watching Crazy Rich Asians a few years ago, I left the theater thinking, I want that too. You know, like I celebrate the Asian American community because I feel like any minority, we all are in the same struggle.
Absolutely.
Like we all, you know, I related to that movie so much. I when they were making dumplings around the table, I was like, that's my family making tortillas. You know, like that's what we do. So I think I love how communities are coming out and supporting this movie because it's an American story. And it was about time that we had something like this that honors the contributions of a certain community to this nation, which are huge.
Absolutely, that's so beautifully said. You know, one of the things that one of the reasons I wanted to host this screening was also, you know, we talk about each individual group's, minority group's struggles and our own stories that we want to be told. But what I realized is, unless all of us are seen, none of us are seen. You know, and that was very important for me. So I was like, you know, this, the solidarity between all of us, right? That was very important for me. But however, and the great thing was also like John and Chu and Miranda, just coming together, and all of you guys. So the real dish that I do want to know is
the real tea.
Yeah, real tea. So tell us some of the most like interesting, challenging things that you would never say out in the press, but maybe you'll do it here.
In this just room full
It's a
of
room full of friends.
very receptive audience.
What was the most challenging, let's say?
You know what? I feel like we've all been so open about our journeys with this movie. Like even the most embarrassing things, like a 20-minute panic attack that I had in the bathroom while we were rehearsing for the club, and I cried. I've shared because I feel like it's an important part of my journey with this movie, of being able to do that club number, that salsa number. I never in a million years thought that I was going to be able to do that. They would show me the choreography and I'd be like, good for you, where's the dance stuff? Because I am never ever going to be able to spin that fast. And it took me 8 weeks of intense rehearsals and overcoming also like a personal block that my own doubts in my capabilities were making me not able to do a certain thing. And then eventually after like holding it in for so long, I just had to let it out. It's never healthy to hold things in. So I let it out and cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes. Our amazing PA, Virginia, came and she was like, yes, she was rubbing my back. Yeah, cried it out. She brought me Kleenex, then the choreographers came, we hugged it out, and then I went back in the room and I nailed it. And it was like, it's kind of embarrassing, but also, you know, I'm proud of what I overcame. And I realized that we are capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And it's so important to like push through your own, what you think your limitations are, because you find incredible things on the other side of fear.
No, for sure, absolutely. I mean, you can. I think the film is a manifestation of all of those dreams, all of those, you know, fears. There's even a story like this that is being told, right? Is in itself is a manifestation of so many people's dreams, and I'm glad you guys really. Did you have anything, any fears, any challenges you want to share?
Yeah, I was just gonna add to what Mel was saying, and even what you just said. This story is like, I feel like for all of us, whether you saw it on the stage at first, or like if you're someone like me that's just seen the movie for the first time, I fell in love with the story and the people in the story really through making this film with everyone. And at some point, we all just felt like the validation of you are capable of this. You are capable of achieving things beyond what what the world has told you that you can dream. And that changed my life. Like it changed all of our lives. I think it's beautiful now to know that this is gonna live in the world and that people are gonna be able to see that. And we really fought through every one of those numbers that we had to learn through. The side of the building, I was like doing flea hops on the on the side of that building for like an hour straight at one point because I just couldn't get it. But it was so worth it, and you break those limitations for yourself.
Absolutely, I mean, it was magical for all of us, and I know that. So one thing that I do want to talk about is fashion, right? Why not? These are going to be first last few questions, so then I'll open it up for you guys. So it's that fashion is such an important part in the movie, like not just yours, as a career, but for me, when I'm looking at everyone's costume, it tells a story, right? How much of it does it play an importance in your daily life, and as also as an actor, as a star now?
I mean, I know for me, it took us a while to get to Vanessa's style. Because she wants to be a fashion designer, Mitchell Travers, her incredible costume designer, we would talk about like how much of her clothes does she make, or how does she add like a little thing that makes it a little more creative, that you can see like a little edge, or is she just like super casual, and her release is through her designs. And obviously her limitations of like what she can afford, and clearly she rummages through the trash can at the university to like get her fabrics and all that stuff. And as an actor, for me, once I find myself in the clothes of the character, I find the character. Like it's a super important. It's a key thing for me to find how the character moves, and where they carry their weight, and when they are feeling vulnerable, how they dress, and when they're feeling fierce, how they dress. Like it's all emotional, and for me, it's very informative of the character. So when I would get dressed and I'd be like, no, like this isn't Vanessa, and then I'd go back and I'd be like, no, I don't think this is Vanessa. And then when we found that first outfit, the opening outfit,
the one with the tights,
I was like, oh, immediately I was like,
oh, I live for that.
This is her. Yeah.
That was a good one. And you?
Yeah. Same. I think it was super important, and shout out to our wardrobe again, all of the team. They really took the time to discover, to take the time to have a conversation with us and see like, who do you think this person is, and listened to us and listened to what we were working through in the dance rehearsals, and like what our movement, because this was, they had to keep a lot in mind of what we would be doing. I remember for When the Sun Goes Down, we spent a lot of time choosing that outfit because we're supposed to defy gravity. So nothing was, I couldn't have any dangles, I couldn't have anything that like any tassels, everything had to be, pasted on as Corey as well. So those cuffs on the earrings, like all those little details we had to bear in mind. But also the arc of my character Nina, you'll see at the top of the movie, in the story, she's coming from Stanford, where she has to, you see that she's conformed a bit to what she thinks.
And my first notice was the hair.
The hair,
Yeah.
pin straight.
Yeah.
Man, have I been there? Like pin straight, and girl, rock all your looks if you can. Nothing wrong with that. But you can tell that Nina's kind of like, she's got her, her little romper. She's got a little California vibe, and then throughout her finding herself on her block again, you see her hair get bigger and bigger, and then wave up a little bit, but then like that. So I love that we were able to find that with the team.
No, for sure, it resonated with all of us. So listen, with that, I want to open up to questions. Yeah, all right. This gentleman here.
Do you want me to use the mic? Or?
I think your voice is loud enough.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear you guys comment on the parallels between this and Crazy Rich Asians, because I saw a lot of different parallels throughout the movie. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like, for one, it's John M. Chu. So you have, I guess, a similar aesthetic. Like the vibrancy of the way that he shoots movies, the colors that he uses, you feel like the world is alive, like you're a part of it. And I think that's the magic of John Chu. He has a way of capturing the beauty of the world and seeing, like, I think the most beautiful side of every place.
And then the details too.
Yeah, he listens a lot. Because I think with Crazy Rich Asians, you know, he comes from a Chinese family. So he had maybe a lot more knowledge. And here he came on knowing that he didn't live in Washington Heights, he didn't grow up there, he's not a part of the community, so how can he be respectful and how can he help us portray it in the most honest and authentic way possible? And I think that's probably where you see all the similarities, is in the authenticity and the honesty, and how you have like big, splashy, epic moments in both movies, and then you have like the really small, intimate moments that contrast but that ground you. In between like all the magical realism that happens in the characters' dreams and songs. And you have the family aspect, you know? And I think that's a parallel in like any community, you know? Family is such a huge part of who we all are, and I think it's such a huge part of this movie, the found family, and how, you know, despite them not being blood related, they found each other. Yeah, they choose each other and they uplift each other, and I think, I think those are, John is a family man. His family is all here for the premiere tomorrow.
Yes.
They're always with him, and he knows that, you know, and I
That's
think
true. No,
he
you're
brings
very
that
right.
in.
You're very right about that. You know, even the difference between the Great Resilience and though it's a family story, but here's is a story about found family, as you mentioned, and you know the love is not anything any less than that. You know, so, yeah. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for being here and sharing the story. It was so beautiful. My question is, what do you hope people will take away from the movie?
I think we all hope, first and foremost, that people obviously enjoy it and that they laugh and they dance and they cry, but on a deeper level, that no matter where you're from, through these character stories and their dreams, even if you're not from Washington Heights, that you feel seen and validated, no matter how big or small your dream is. And I think there's magic. That's why there's so much magic to what Lynn writes and what Kiara writes and what John, you know, directed here, is that they really took this story and made it accessible for everyone to relate to, and feel like, you know, you can dream, you know, as seemingly as simple as Corey, to want to appreciate and protect this neighborhood, or Sunny, this is my island, I don't want to go to no other island, this is it for me, and like, or Usnavi, who wants to go back to where, you know, his parents are from, and where he doesn't have that many memories, but he feels like that's where the magic is, and then finds it right where he's at, and all of those dreams are validated, you know? There's no one big dream. It's everybody's sueñito is just as magical, and I think that's what's so beautiful. So hopefully people feel that.
For me, I think, I mean, obviously, everything that you said, and I hope that people find the warmth and the deliciousness of getting to know a community that maybe you're not exposed to, and finding how we are all so similar, despite growing up in different places of the world and despite our families looking different. I think that's something that I would love for people to leave the theater thinking like, oh wow, like I'm Usnavi, and like I grew up in Michigan, and I'm white, or like, you know, whoever you identify with. But I think for me, what makes me the most hopeful about this movie is thinking about like the younger generation, thinking about the kids that are gonna watch this movie, especially like little people of color, you know, like young kids that are gonna watch this movie, and that this is gonna be normal for them. Like they already see themselves in movies. For them it's normal. They're gonna grow up thinking like, not like us, like I never saw myself in a major Hollywood movie when I was a kid. There was no one ever that looked like me. And for little kids to have this reference, and to always know that this is a possibility for them, and to always know that they have a place and that they can dream as big as they want to dream and anything is possible. That for me is what I would love for like kids to go out of the movie thinking that they're invincible. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. That's all beautiful. Maybe one or two more questions. One, yeah. And is anyone? Yeah. This gentleman here. All right. Okay. No. Wait. Hey, you. All right. Then let me come to you. Okay. All right. What's your name, first of all? What's your name?
Hybrid.
Oh, that's a beautiful name. All right. What's your question? Well, did you like the movie?
Yeah.
Do you want to go home and dance and sing?
No, thank you.
Well, you might have stolen the show. Do you have a question or do you just want to say hi? Okay, say hi.
Hi.
Oh my God, she's adorable. Well, I don't know how else to end it more than that. I think that's pretty much it for the question. Two things that you guys want to tell. They missed the last part, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna wanna watch that.
Because it's hot.
Yes.
We were like, we're not gonna put them through that because the credits are long, but there's an after credit scene that's super cool
Yeah.
that you guys missed. You're gonna have to go
Well,
back and
Easter egg.
rewatch
You're
it
gonna wanna
in an
get it.
air-conditioned theater this time. Yeah.
Yeah, and guys, this is pretty much it. I just want to say one more time, it's out on June 10th. I urge all of you to share your experience. We all have power to share the message. And this particular movie, for me personally, was such a validation of all of us to be seen. All of us are. I always call people whenever I'm working on designing. I say, this world, this country, this world is filled with impossible dreamers, and that is a story about them. I urge each and every one of you to please go home before June 10th. Just start sharing what made you really, enjoy this film, because the success of this film will also create other movies like this, where there will be other people of different communities and their stories being told. So it's very, very important. So I hope you do that. And thank you once again. Tuesday night, you guys are troopers. Thank you.
Got the GoPro, let's go.
By the way, just a little comment as a Jewish guy, the movie was great. It's like the Fiddler on the Roof of
Let's go.
like a family movie, but one that'll be a legend,
Yes,
Thank you.
like that.
I will.
There.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hey, can we get a shot of the three of you?
Yes, sure. Of course.
Oui.
Yeah, don't trip though.
Yes.
All right, one this way. Thank you. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So nice to meet you. Oh, let's talk. You're gorgeous. Thank you. Yes, one with you, please. Please. If you can take it for us. If you don't mind. Oh. All the characters?
No, it's past my bedtime, so my phone's like, it's time to go to bed, yeah.
Girl, I got that do not disturb on too.
Yeah,
Like,
it's bedtime, it's bedtime.
time to wind
Thank you so
down.
much.
Yes. Yes.
Should we take a selfie? Yeah? Okay. Do you want me to take it? Let's take it. Yes. Like this? You are cute.
She's like, I can do it.
She wants to see you.
She wants to do her own selfie.
Hi to all the beautiful people in Japan. I am Melissa Barrera. I play Vanessa in The Heights, and I invite you all to go to the theaters and watch it. It's a beautiful movie. We made it with a lot of love. It's coming out soon, so please come out and support. I hope you like it.
And look at me for our camera.